Hello, growers. Looking to turn your homestead into a profitable business? Or are you a farmer looking to boost your sales? Check out my book, Sell Everything You Grow. This book is the ultimate guide to choosing the right farm business model that fits your farm, time, and location. Discover which model has the highest profit margins and why diversification is so important. Whether you're selling apples, vegetables, or microgreens, Sell Everything You Grow will help you find your first market or expand into new ones. Get Sell Everything You Grow on Amazon and start selling more today.
Can you kind of touch on some of like the purpose and the importance of organic seed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it is incredibly convenient for certifiers in particular to just know that X amount of seed is from high mowing and therefore not an issue. That's definitely helpful. I think, you know, the state of organics, maybe that's like a little off topic, but it's really curious to think about like where we are nationally versus where we were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Like when high mowing started, really?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And like where things have gone and where they might continue to go. You know, like uh that is something that's very unknown and it's often changing. And I think because it is quite values based, it can be hard to get a handle on where people are. It's also inherently more expensive,
Yeah.
to support organic seed and organics because it takes a lot more labor to do so. You know, Organic seed, I think, is important because there's just less chemical inputs that are going into our seed. Conventional seed is one of the most chemically intensive types of agriculture. Those
Oh,
seed
interesting.
are not, because they're not used for human consumption,
Mm,
there are different pesticide regulations, which are less stringent. Um, Organic seed crops are more heavily regulated, and they also tend to take into account the larger ecological landscape as well in their production. And I think larger than that, even though that's like pretty
yeah.
crucial, organically produced seed is developed with the purpose that it will do better in organic systems. Like that is the
Mm,
overall goal. You think about something that is being bred for a particular environment, then it's going to thrive in that environment. That's the hope. Of course, genetically seed is, or organic seed is not genetically modified. I think that's a huge one. We're continuing to learn more about what that means, but their genetically modified ingredients are becoming like way more ubiquitous
hmm
in everyday life. It's like becoming harder to avoid that. So making a conscious decision about where you are putting your money, it is starting to speak a lot more to your values and like what you're behind. I think we're seeing that more and more in our economy, in our culture as things evolve. It's pretty fascinating. I mean, organic seed, it began at this really base level with open pollinated varieties, these varieties that were just out there kind of for people to play with, like very like heirloom varieties like lacinato kale
hmm
and scarlet Nance carrot. Like they were just out there and people were producing them and that's what organic growers had to rely on for a really long time. I think then at some point that developed into organic growers relying on hybrid seeds, which are bred for disease resistance and productivity, increased yields. And that was super important and crucial. It's like this important joint for organics, for the organic movement. But I think what's interesting now as we kind of keep progressing in organics is that now there are companies that are breeding specifically for organics, kind of instead of just moving these conventional varieties into organic productions. And now you're seeing companies and breeders invest more in making open pollinated varieties that have the same, like that have disease resistances, but are less expensive because they are more affordable to produce because they're open pollinated.
And is that primarily just from a practical standpoint of you can have a kind of a seed crop of things, and as long as you're not like crossing different varieties, you can allow nature to kind of run its course, as opposed to hybrid varieties where you're having to like physically pollinate and isolate and separate flowers? Is that really where the difference in cost comes from with those?
Absolutely. If you think about a hybrid variety is one that is produced by cross-pollinating two distinct parent lines, they are being selected for their genetics, whether
Yeah.
those traits are color or flavor or yield or disease resistance. Days to maturity, I think, often are a part of that too. That takes, in most scenarios, a lot of hands-on labor for that to happen. And sometimes, we also have those biennial crops. So those
Yeah.
beets and carrots, and those are taking two cycles in order to get the seed that you want. So, those are absolutely more expensive. Open pollinated varieties, these are seeds that have been fertilized by natural means, either by wind or insects or birds. And so there's just like a whole lot less human interaction with what is going on naturally. And so if we can select based on what we're looking for and reproduce that pretty easily, then we're getting like one step closer. And I think that just wasn't in the mindset at the like for a period of time. But now that I think organics has gained an amount of momentum, and particularly in Europe, I think they just passed something that, all farm production needs to be organic by a certain date.
Oh,
Um,
I'll have to look into that. I love
yeah,
that.
so their breeding is even more swaying towards the side of organic production as well. So that's pretty exciting.
Hey there. Want to spend less time pulling weeds? Check out Soil Shield by Modern Grower. It's the pre-cut landscape fabric solution to help you drastically reduce weed pressure. Just roll it out, staple it down, and plant. Then let it do the work for you. Say goodbye to endless weeding and hello to more free time. Plus, it's high quality, durable, and will last for years, saving you time and money in the long run. It's available in a variety of row and hole spacings to accommodate all the crops that vegetable farmers grow. Learn more about Soil Shield landscape fabric at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.